Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Gers TV weekly show where we will be talking about the European games, the Aberdeen game there at the weekend, and the rest of it. I'm joined here tonight by Si behind the scenes, the main man, and Gordy via video call. How we doing, gents?
All good, my man. All good. How you, Gordy?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit of a long day today, but that's a difference. Just personal stuff going on. Got some reports and that to do. So late night last night and again tonight, but it's all good. Yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Plodding on, mate. Getting there. Anyways, let's talk about last Thursday night, the home game versus Athletic Bilbao, 0-0. What's your opinions on it, Gordy?
Well, I mean, quite a lot to digest from it. I need to be honest. It's one of those games where I thought it could be 4-0 to Rangers or 4-0 to Balboa. Turned out to be a kind of drab 0-0, which is one of these things. Great build up to the game, anticipation, excitement. I thought the fans were great at the start of the game, great atmosphere. We didn't actually start too badly, and then obviously the sending off kind of puts us on the back foot. We kind of just play a defensive game till 90 minutes, and we kind of hold out against although it seemed like a siege. There wasn't. I thought we did pretty well defensively overall, and I think we spoke about last week about it still being in the tie, being a good result. So, given the circumstances, given the fact they got a penalty in the last 10 minutes or so, given the fact we played almost 100 minutes, 90 minutes at least with 10 men, I'm not too displeased. Still a lot to play for, still in the tie.
Yep. Well, my thoughts on it, I don't think it's as good as a result as a lot of Rangers fans were saying. I think it's an okay result considering the circumstances, as you were saying. 10 men for most of the game, 9 men at the end of it as well with Dujon Sterling's injury. The one thing I didn't like though was at the end of the game when we had a corner, we had a chance to whip into the box and we just played it short and we sort of put it back against the corner flag. I didn't quite like that, but apart from that, I thought it wasn't a bad performance. Defensively was excellent. For the first 10 minutes, to be honest, of course, the red card kills pretty much any game, a red card, especially within the first 10-15 minutes. I don't think we started off particularly great in the first 10-15 minutes, but we looked sort of strong in the press and we looked a lot more aggressive than what we did for the rest of the game. I thought we weren't as aggressive as we maybe could have been, but I mean, yet again, if we were aggressive, it might have costed us, it might have maybe caused a few leaks in the defence possibly. But look, it was a great defensive performance. You can't take that away from them. The lads fought. They fought hard. You can't even deny that Athletic Bilbao had most of the chances either, though. As much as they missed a few, I don't think their finishing was that great, and the defending was good as well. At the back post as well was a couple of blocks, especially from Mirad Van Yilmaz, who actually thought had a very good game. You had a lot of your attacking players tracking back as well. We almost played, I wouldn't quite say it was 10 men behind the ball, but it was very, very defensive. You had about 6 or 7 at the back at one point as well, it seemed as well.
Of course, it's difficult once you kind of. So I think let's just break it. I think probably break it in a little bit. I think just starting with the team selection, I thought Barry was very bold to play Kelly. As much as it was anticipated by a lot of people, including ourselves, it is still a very, very big call to make. It's not easy. It's not easy to drop a keeper of that experience. It's not easy. I mean, they're probably friends as well. Off the park, given that Barry's been a kind of ambassador for the club the last couple of years as well. So they probably got a very strong personal relationship. So it's not an easy call for the manager to make that kind of decision. So I think we have to give him credit. It's obviously worked out well in the end with the penalty save and a good performance, but also good call and playing Baylor Rice as well. That was almost as big a call because Baylor Rice has only started one previous game, I think. He was obviously coming as a sub a few times, but he's only started a handful of games. So to bring somebody like Baylor Rice in for our biggest European game of the season against the toughest team we've played, a big call as well. So although things might not be going overly well with Barry, one thing he has shown is that he's not afraid to make a tough call.
Yeah. And first of all, we're going to talk about what you were first saying there with Liam Kelly. As much as a lot of the fans, 90% of the fans were probably saying that Liam Kelly should start on Thursday. Jack Butland's still our number one keeper, and that's a very, very bold call to make. As much as he's had a lot of faults this season compared to last season as well, especially. But at the end of the day, like a lot of games as well this season, he might have saved us as well. You could argue. So he's a number one keeper. It's a very hard call to make, and as you were saying, probably good friends off the park as well. But not only through Rangers, but through Birmingham as well. When Barry Ferguson was there and Jack Butland was there as a youth as well. So they'd have known each other through that as well. And Barry Ferguson came out and said that they had a chat and it was very tough. And of course they'll be feeling down about it, and especially being dropped for the last 2 games as well, Aberdeen away, but we'll talk about that in a second. That's going to be tough for anyone, especially a goalkeeper. A goalkeeper's a lot harder to drop than any sort of outfield player. Very, very hard to drop. But you know what, he came out and he made a bold call, and it certainly seemed to work, I would say.
Yeah. I'd probably just push back a little bit, Lewis, what you said a minute ago regarding 0-0 not being a good result. Given the circumstances, I actually think it's a fantastic result, to be perfectly honest. Balboa, although, I mean, Balboa didn't play particularly well, but that's to be stifled them quite a lot. And they've got a squad value of, 350 million, 400 million pound players. They've got players, international players all over the park. Some of the young, best talents in Europe at some various positions, especially out wide. So to limit them to kind of 1 or 2 chances and a penalty with 10 men, I actually think now it's not a fantastic result, but it's a very good result, and it's one of our better results at home this season. Looking back, so I mean, I actually think it puts Balboa under pressure. It means them they have to come out and attack us on Thursday in Spain, and that will suit our game. So getting a 0-0, obviously 1-0, 2-0 is even better. But I just think, given the circumstances and given the fact that we were backs to the wall, and I know you said about the corner in the last minute, but see when you've been playing defensively for 90 minutes, see when it's like 10, 12 minutes injury time, and it's a minute to go, whatever. I really don't think the guys had the energy for an attack. I'm not going to lie. I really don't think they had the energy to go up the park then go back down the park.
Guys, let me ask you a quick question on that.
So I think I'll just finish by overall saying I thought it was a good result.
Sorry,
okay. So just a wee question I'm going to put out there to the viewers as well. I'll tell you my opinion on it first. I'm not so sure if Bilbao are any better than Fenerbahce. I actually think Fenerbahce are a better team than them. However, that could be proved wrong with that in the next leg on Thursday night. But I don't think they're any better.
I'm going to be honest, I do disagree with you. I think you've got to give respect to Fenerbahce as well. They are a very good team, very strong team. Of course, they were another one of the favourites to go on and win the competition as well. A very good manager, a very, very talented side. But you look at Bilbao, you look at the young talent they've got as well. You look at the pace, of course. The final set in Bilbao, of course, you could maybe even say it's written in the stars for them to get to the final and win it. But I do think Bilbao overall are a bit of a stronger team than Fenerbahce. Not by much. Not by as much as what Rangers fans are making out to be, but they are a bit of a stronger team, I do think. What's your opinions on that, Gordy?
Yeah, I agree with you there, Lewis, on that one regarding. I think we made them look not particularly great for last Thursday, given the way we played. I think they were coming over here expecting to win 2 or 3-0, and I think they lacked a bit of inventiveness in the last 20 minutes. I think they were surprised with the. I think they were taken aback by the atmosphere, surprised by the passion we played with, and I think they were taken aback with the ferocity of the way we played with 10 men. So I actually think that the reason why we're comparing them against Fenerbahce at this moment in time is because of the way that we made them play. If you look back, I think they finished second in the group in the league. Sorry, they beat Roma in the previous round, which is no mean feat either, albeit we are. A red card, which may or not have been a red card. It's just coincidence it's happened twice in a row, I guess. But no, I think that Bilbao are a good team, and I think they're still heavy favourites to go through. But I don't think that given their performance on last Thursday, we should be particularly scared of them. And I hope we don't stop having stage fright. But I think the game's in the balance. But I think Bilbao are the strongest. I think Spurs, if they didn't have those injuries, would be the strongest squad. But so far, I actually say that Bilbao are better than Lyon and better than Fenerbahce.
Couple of comments coming in, guys. Hugh Hepburn Duff. Bilbao are 4th in the Liga. They will be disappointed in not winning against 10 men for the majority of the match. Betty McKenzie. I think it was a good result considering we had 10 men, then 9 it was down to 9, so I will take that. David Herd. I'm not sure who I want to go on Thursday. I agree with that. Butland knows he is undroppable and has a point to prove now. He isn't undroppable, he's got a point to prove now. he deserves to get dropped, but he is a better keeper than Kelly, and I thought Kelly was poor v Aberdeen.
Yeah. Can't really disagree with Davey much there as well. I think, like, of course, Jack Butland's our best goalkeeper. He's been an England international, played for Man United last season as well, as much as he never really got a game. Of course, to play for Man United, as much as like how they're doing now, you've got to be a good player to play for Man United. Playing in the Premier League for multiple years, even in the English Championship as well, arguably one of the hardest leagues in the world. So he's a top goalkeeper, and he has proven to be a top goalkeeper, especially here at Rangers. Maybe not as much this season, but last season for sure. Liam Kelly, I do think Liam Kelly's a good goalkeeper. Of course, a Scotland international as well. Doesn't really get much games for Scotland behind two quality keepers as well. But it was Motherwell captain as well, who, I mean, no disrespect to Motherwell, it's Motherwell. But he's a good goalkeeper. I don't think he's good enough to be Rangers number one permanently. Of course, I think if we were to get rid of Jack Butland, I think we would need to bring in a new keeper. But yeah, against Aberdeen, I wouldn't argue he was poor. I think maybe for the free kick he could have maybe done better. I think if he positioned himself a little bit better, he seemed to get a little hand on it. Of course, take no means away from it. It's a fantastic free kick from Aberdeen. It's a fantastic goal, but I think Liam Kelly's got to be getting a stronger hand on it. How about you, Gordy?
Well, I just want to quickly reference something that Simon said last week, actually, when we were talking about this, and I think it's probably more true this week than it was last week. You've got to look at the defenders in front of you. If you're a goalkeeper, you've got to look at the defenders in front of you. And this season, most games, we've been chopping and changing our defence this season, almost every single game due to suspensions, injuries, form. I mean, look at Sunday, we had Enciala and Fernandez starting. I mean, if you're a keeper, are you going to be confident with those two in front of you? So, I mean, a lot of the keepers' games down to confidence. And if you're not confident in the back line in front of you, which probably Butland hasn't been, so for a lot of these games this season, it could filter through to you and the way you play as a keeper as well. So, I think we need to look at the defence as well. A lot of the goals that Butland's let in this season, I know we said something about 100 goals we've let in 100 games, whatever. But yeah, there'll probably be about 9 or 10 that he could have done a lot better with, of course. But most of the goals will be with stuff that he can't do anything with. You need to look at defence first. So I think we've been overly harsh on both Butland and Kelly, but I don't think Kelly's done enough to get dropped, and he certainly played very well last Thursday. So I think it'd be a shame for Kelly to bring Butland back in. I can't see Butland getting brought back in before the end of the season, to be honest.
Also, we don't want to keep trapping goalkeepers and changing that position.
Yeah. To be honest, God, I disagree with you there in your last point. I don't see Kelly being the number one goalkeeper for the rest of the season. I can't see that. Of course, he's a talented goalkeeper, and there's no reason to drop him either. But Jack Butland, of course, is a talented goalkeeper, and you've got to give him his chance to get back to solidify his spot as a number one again. You've got to give him his chance, and I think.
So hold on. So what do you do then? So given the form Butland's been in, and you're saying you give Butland a chance to get back in, do you give him a chance in the biggest game of the season? That's a hell of a chance.
No, I'm not individually saying that Jack Butland should be brought back in for the Bilbao away game. I don't think so. I don't think he should. I think Liam Kelly should still keep his spot as a goalkeeper there. But at the end of the day, Jack Butland his confidence is going to be at an all-time low right now, especially being dropped for two big games, one of them being arguably the biggest game of the season. So his confidence is going to be very, very low, and you've got to give him his chance to get back in and solidify his spot as the number one goalkeeper again at Rangers. And if not, then he's looking to be away. He looks to be packing his bags.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see him back as number one at Rangers, to be honest, mate. I think he might be away, but you never know. It depends on his character. Depends if he wants to fight for his place or not. And I'm all for giving players a chance to fight for their place. And he does care because he's come out a few times in interviews and been critical defend. No, he hasn't named any names, but he has got some passion there. I think he likes it at Rangers, so I would like to see him back, but I can't see. I mean, I just think that I do genuinely think it's him for the rest of the season. And plus, I mean, there's only 5 games left after the split, and hopefully another European game or two. So that's what I'm saying about him. I don't see him coming back for the rest of the season. I think he'll still be here next season. I just don't see him coming back in this season.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Fair enough. You can argue whether he will come back in, whether he won't come back in. It's up to you guys in the comments. Use argue. Use.
Of course.
Use talk away amongst yourselves.
It could all
Of
change.
course. Of course.
Change quickly.
Now that I've said that, he'll start every single game. So there you go. Just, so I think overall we're still in the tie. I think we have to briefly mention the Aberdeen game on Sunday because obviously it took place and
then we'll go back to the Thursday
uh,
night.
so just very quickly, we'll just maybe get a comment each on that. I thought, as another game we went 2-0 down, it's actually starting, apart from Balboa and Fenerbahce away, it's getting to the point now where I can't remember a game we haven't went 2-0 down, and that's saying something. I thought the players that we played, the majority of them, I don't see a future for them at Rangers whatsoever, and I hope some of them don't have a future at Rangers. I know that we've been bigging up Ed Danilo in the last few weeks. I'm going to be honest with you. If he was bought for 500,000 or £1 million, I may have a different opinion. But for £5 million, he's garbage.
Yeah,
right, I'm sorry to
I
say.
agree with you. I agree with you, Gordon.
I'm
Like,
sorry,
not the biggest
right.
fan.
Given the fact that he's cost so much money, given the fact that he's on maybe 30 grand a week, for that money and for those wages and for the return we've got out of him in 2 years, I'm sorry, guys. I think it's garbage. I think we need to be ruthless at this club now and just say so, because he's come on a few times. He's come on in a few sub games, and don't get me wrong. I think Dundee away, he's maybe come on and changed the game, but once a season, I think it's not good enough. And as much as I lament Dessers a lot, I'd be much more confident starting Dessers on Thursday than Danilo. I just think Danilo, I'd be lucky. The thing is, we probably won't get any money back for him. We'll as well just cut our losses and free transfer, I think, with some of these players, because they looked absolutely garbage on Sunday. And it's some of these guys are worth 3, 4, 5, £6 million, and they can't turn up. It's absolutely
Certainly not proving it. They're not proving it.
It's absolutely embarrassing. And that Rafael Fernandez injured after 20 minutes. He's come in as a loan for Leon or whatever, and he goes off as injured. He's not featured the whole season. I think he's played 20 minutes.
I've seen half an hour of him since he's came up.
Aye, half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. I mean, another
10
20
minutes
minutes.
County, then 20 minutes there.
And
That's all I've seen him.
But the thing is, we're paying his wages now, probably, or a substantial part of them. And these are turning up, and it's hope that the signing policy at Rangers has been, apart from 1 or 2 players, it's hopeless.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I'm going to go back to what you were saying, Danilo. I'm not his biggest fan either. I actually think Dessers offers a lot more. I think Gigaman's our best striker at the club, Gigaman, but I think Dessers offers a lot more than Danilo. I think Danilo on Sunday was very, very poor. The chances that he had, when the ball was played into his feet and he took a touch and the ball went about 10 yards. Like, his ball control's poor.
I agree with you. Eman's a good player, right? Don't get me wrong. I think, but at the same time, right, he's scored 2 or 3 goals in 16 games. Right? These are not the kind of.
He's not playing many games. That's it.
He has, Lewis. He has. He's played. He went through a spell where he started 7 or 8 games in a row and that, and didn't score. Then he came on as a sub against Celtic and scored. And fair enough, since then he's been more of a sub, yeah. But
aye, that's what I mean. Like, more recently, aye.
These are not the kind of the sorry fact about Rangers is that we're not getting the same kind of returns and goals and assists as other teams are with their players, with attacking players. It was really laid bare on Sunday. These are the guys that are fighting for a future at the club. These are the guys that wanted to prove themselves to be fit, prove themselves they can play, and prove themselves they've been trusted when called upon. And they flopped, and it was a disgrace. It was another disgraceful first half performance. I'm sorry to say it, as a Rangers fan, but it was another absolute disgraceful performance in that first half.
Aye, I agree with you. I really do agree with you. I actually never really seen the second goal. I was working during the game, but I've seen the first goal. Never actually seen the second goal. God, they're going to run us through that a wee bit.
Rangers second goal.
No, the Aberdeen second goal.
Don't know. I was hiding behind the sofa. I can't really remember it too much, to be honest. It was. I think I was hiding. But the first goal, Leighton Clarkson. I mean, Leighton Clarkson's a good midfielder. I wouldn't be too much against him actually coming to Rangers. To be honest, the way he set up, he actually set up the free kick to fool the keeper, and he did. He set it up as a kind of cross, and went in the back of the net. Good goal, good finish, and these Aberdeen players are right up against us. So
it was a fantastic goal, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think. I think these one of these things where you can't really. I mean, that's going to go in against Button, it's going to go in against Kelly, it's going to go in against a lot of keepers. So I think it's a little bit unfair to criticise Kelly for that. But Aberdeen, come on, for the life of me, I watched the game, but for the life of me, I don't know how I'm getting old. I simply can't remember. I think I can't remember the Aberdeen goal, to be perfectly
I
honest.
remember seeing. I'm pretty sure it was the boy Shaden Morris that scored as well. Though I think it was.
Oh,
The biggest problem I've got is again going down to 10 men, and it was a stupid move by Ross McCausland, the challenge, and that puts Rangers under pressure. You can't keep being 10 men every week.
yeah. I mean, I've got a soft spot. I like McLaughlin as a player. I think he's done well when he's been called upon. I think he's been a little bit unfairly treated, but he's not got a good run in the team, which affects his confidence. But again, it goes back to the fact these are the games that if you get a chance for Rangers, you need to prove yourself. And he got himself sent off. Yeah, he's probably put in a position. He's probably having to do stuff he's not used to getting. Not used to doing. But I don't. If I remember correctly, the yellow cards weren't too far apart from each other, so he shouldn't be doing that.
Nah, I know. And especially with the second challenge, the second yellow, there's no chance he's getting the ball from that. Absolutely no way. Such a silly challenge, especially if you're on a yellow. Very, very silly. And I'm going to disagree with you, Gordy. I think, maybe with the exception of the Malmo game, I think he's been absolutely ranking rotten. I think we only rate him because he was in a flip bond when he was younger. I genuinely I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all, to be honest. As much as he's a young boy and he's got plenty of time to improve, but so far I don't rate him that highly, Gordy, to be honest.
Okay,
Good
fair
point
enough. It's all opinions.
This is a good point. This came in for Davy Heard. I'll read it because it's that much writing on it is covering
Aye.
the screen. I'm going to take it away again so we can see your beautiful faces. Whilst I agree, Butland needs to be sold in the summer and he's not good enough to be the Rangers' number one. The truth is, he is a better keeper than Liam Kelly. We are talking about our biggest game since Seville in 2022 on Thursday. Butland is on form is a no-brainer in a game like this. It shows how bad he has been that anyone wants Kelly in the European quarter-final. But Kelly is world-class compared to Danilo and Cortes, who were embarrassingly bad on Sunday. So David Heard isn't very happy with the performance. I take it with that.
No,
I can't
absolutely
really
not,
disagree
David.
with
I
it,
don't
innit?
blame you. The performance on Sunday, especially first off, absolutely shocking. And even until we got that first goal, the goal we come back, we were absolutely shocking against Aberdeen, who are now fifth in the league.
Well, two things about the first half. First of all, the performance and also the attitude. I just think some of the players should have been playing for even if you don't think you've got a chance, you should be doing everything you can to be considered for Thursday night.
100%.
All the future of the club. And
Of
if you don't
course.
want to play, then there's an issue. And I felt as if some of them really didn't come out of second gear.
One thing to talk about as well was Connor Barron being handed the armband. I don't know how to feel about that. It was a very, very bold call. Pretty sure Tavernier actually came on quite early in the game. I think he came on as soon as McCausland got sent off and got given the armband. So he wasn't the captain for long. He was captain for probably about half an hour. But given the captain's armband before the game, what do you think of that, boys?
I think
Oh, it just goes. I would just say it. Just don't. Sorry,
Barry
Simon, you
seems
go.
sorry, quickly. Barry seems to see something in Connor Barron, and I think it was a bold move, but I don't think it was a bad thing today. Somebody's got to be the captain. Why no?
I would say I think it's something you mentioned. I think David Heard might have mentioned this previously. I don't think the captain of a club is like the same kind of influence that he's maybe had down the years, but it does show the lack of big personalities at the club when a young boy signed in the summer has been now made albeit temporarily. It does show a lack of leaders. And just go back to Davy's point, I think Davy stole my thunder a little bit talking about Cortes. I was about to mention him as well. When I mentioned guys that are worth £10 million, Danilo and Cortes between them are going to cost us £10 million in signing. That's a lot of money. People going about Rangers not a lot of money. £10 million for Danilo and Cortes.
I hate to sound like I'm being negative. You're right, but we might as well just write that money off.
Well, I think so. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like
that's how bad I think they are.
$4 million on Oscar Cortes, who I think we've seen probably about 5 games this season. Not even that, probably. Not even 5 games. And in those 5 games, he's looked poor, to be honest. As much as last season, when he came in January, he went a wee run of 4 or 5 games and he was playing magnificently. And it was a shame he got that injury because before he came to Rangers, he had absolutely no injury record at all. The previous clubs that he'd been at over in Colombia and in France as well, he had absolutely no track record of major injuries. Anyways, that's for sure. Then he comes to Rangers and then he's out for 4 or 5 months. He's back in the summer, plays a couple of games and he's out for practically the whole season. So
yeah,
the fact that we've committed to spending $4 million on a player who we've seen play maybe about 6 or 7 games last season is very, very poor. Very poor negotiation. I think it's Lons we got him from. Lons or Lille.
RC Len and Lons, yes. So, for a decent French club, decent pedigree.
They've absolutely scammed us, but
Cortez might come up now. You never know, but I just don't see it. So let's talk about the rest of the Aberdeen game, then we can move on to brighter pastures. Then.
Yeah.
So obviously going 2-0 down.
Sorry, what's your thoughts on the penalty?
the penalty, the one that Bilbao got.
No, sorry. What's your thoughts on the Aberdeen goal being the dog chopped up? Maybe I was just talking to you. Aberdeen, they don't get a third goal that get chopped off.
They did. Just at the end of the game. I actually don't know why it got chopped off. I think there might be a handball in the build-up, possibly.
I think it was
a bit of a scramble in the box, so could have been.
It was definitely a handball. Kevin Nesbitt handballed it. It was a clear cut handball.
The problem I've got with that, right? I'm glad it didn't happen. Obviously, they never got it, but the rule changes that often that you really don't know what's going on in football at times. You really don't know. It benefited us because we run up the park and we finish it, but if they didn't get that one, we were finished.
To me, I think if the ball hits your horn, it's a handball. I mean, intentional or not, it's a handball. So I think it's in the name of hand. The ball hits your horn, it's a foul. That's how I see it. But
the second half of the game, put that way, we were talking about the change in them running up the park, the goal choked off and we score. The second half of the game, we were far better than we were in the first half. We were so much more better. 100%. And we only had 10 men. And that was quite similar to the European game. We don't seem too bad with 10 men, but you can't keep losing players due to disciplinary, and you can't keep going 2-0 down.
And we were talking about the red card there. How about the red card on Thursday night? What do you think of that? For me personally, I do think it's a red card. I've seen them given and I've seen them not given, but for me it's a red card. I think the boys get a shot off there.
At first glance, I thought it was. When I first seen it, I thought, "What the hell is he doing? There's no chance." But later on that night,
when I first seen it, I didn't think it was proper to put in the foul. I thought it was Balogun.
Yeah, so when I seen it back later on the highlights, I've got to say it was a red card. There's no point making a song and dance about it. It was a red card.
I've seen a few people argue as well. Alan McCoist actually came out after the game post-match interview. He came out and he said that it wasn't a red card, and he was saying like, but I know it's the rules, but it shouldn't be a red card. But I mean, it is the rules. It's a red card. He's pretty much last man. He's getting a shot off and goal there.
My opinion on it, I think it was a red card. I don't think he should be. It doesn't really matter if it's the start of the game or the end of the game. A red card or whatever a decision should be shouldn't have influenced all the time on it.
No, absolutely not.
My biggest worry. Now, I spoke to you guys about this in the pub. I was Gordon in the pub last week about it. I don't really know if he missed proper that much when he came off, when he got sent off. That's
just to clarify, for everybody that my work might be watching, I wasn't actually at the pub. Simon misspoke there.
Right, well, when I phoned you.
From the pub, you phoned me from the pub, yeah.
Aye, I just don't feel as if sometimes when you miss a player when he gets sent off and you go a difference, but I don't think that we really missed proper that much.
No,
which is quite concerning.
And exactly how bad does that sound when you're saying it out loud? Like it's terrible.
Robin Proper absolutely shouldn't be a Rangers player next season. I think MD else can agree with me in that. He should not be a Rangers player next season. I don't think he would get a game in Kilmarnock or Dundee or something like that. I mean Rangers, for God's sake, is absolute clown show so far.
So let's we'll just quickly tidy up the Aberdeen game. So we get to go back in the game. Obviously, Simon, you've called it. They get a goal disallowed, so it's game on again. And we literally got the park, and a good finish by Hadji, to be fair. I think Hadji's form has dipped slightly in the last few weeks, but it was a great finish by. It was good. It was actually for Desser's miss. It wasn't one of Desser's usual open goals. He did well to get a shot away. He's unlucky. Comes back out. Jeff Day, good layoff, and Hadji, good finish. So a good goal. A wee bit too late in the game, but again, Aberdeen couldn't do anything about it. And it was literally again up at Pittodrie. Memories of Scotty Arfield a couple of years ago. Spoiling their part in the last second, and it spoiled our team's part of the league title as well. So, good finish, and hopefully somebody like Hadji. I play like Hadji. He's a momentum player, a confidence player. So him getting that great goal in the last minute might do him a world of good for Thursday night as well. So that's about the only positive I can see for Sunday, to be honest.
I think that the last two colour games is going to earn Hadji a new contract as well, because the reports have came out, especially the Daily Record have came out and said that Hadji wants to leave, and he's came out on social media and said it's fake news. I love the club and all. I love it. I want to stay.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen that with previous players and managers as well, saying I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. I mean, look at Gerrard. At first, do I look happy? Do I look settled? And then he left a week later. So you never know really with players. They could be swayed or influenced by money, which it's a modern game now. It is what it is. But I think it's going to. I think we're definitely going to at least offer him a new contract for the season.
Well,
Yep.
I'll tell you one thing about it. It's good to see a boy nailing his colours to the mast and saying he wants to stay at the club.
Oh, of course it is. That's
And I
it's
don't like
great
the
to see.
media.
It's great to see how much he loves the club as well.
Aye, I don't like the media. I don't trust the media. And he's came out and said they're lying. That'll do for me.
Aye.
Just to
Yeah,
jump in there,
I
guys.
wouldn't put too much stone in the what the Daily Record say about that. To be perfectly honest.
And just to finish up with that,
Fair enough.
unlucky for Dessers, great move, but what a finish. If you watch the goal again, if you watch it again, you'll see that Hadji's pointing for the ball for about 30 seconds. Give me it. And I think if Jeffrey looks up, plays a lovely bottom, and what a finish. Credit when due.
Aye. Oh,
Yeah.
excellent finish as well. As much as you could argue he's both footed, it's at the same time it's on his weak foot, and he curls it into the far post top corner. And you look at the replay goal, you look at it slowed down. I don't think you can get much more top corner than what it was. It was an absolute fantastic goal. Of course, it's
Yeah.
good to get that point. A point's better than none, but I think our fans went a little bit too mental considering it's a draw away to fifth in the league. As much as it's Aberdeen, we like to get the better over Aberdeen. Of course, we go there aim to get the 3 points. I don't think it's necessarily a bad result with the team that we put out, but
Yeah.
it's not as good as a result as what fans are saying.
We need
Especially
to up our expectations. You're right.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that was my point for the Bilbao game as well. I think after the game, as much as I don't think it was a great result, I actually don't think it was a great result. It was an okay result considering the circumstances, as you were saying, is what many 99% of Rangers fans are saying. Given the circumstances we were in, yes, it's a great result, but at home to Bilbao, a good team I know, we've beaten better teams at home as well. We've beaten much better teams at home. At home to Bilbao,
Aye,
you've
but-
got to be taking the game to them. I don't think we can go as defensive as what we did. As much as if we
But-
spread the play a little bit, you could possibly leak a few goals in, but you could also score a lot more. I think.
Well,
That's my opinion on
I
it.
don't know. I don't know if you're maybe forgetting, but we played with 10 men, with 9 men for. We played with 9 men for like the last 8 minutes
I
into
know,
time
Gordon,
as
that's
well,
what I'm
mate.
saying. Given
Like,
the circumstances, it is a good result, but I think at home to any team, you've got to be taking the game to them.
not a bit, mate. But if we went into 10 men, we 4 at the pack, and we take the game to them, we're going to get beat 3 or 4-0. And you can say, well, they didn't have any shots and goal, etc. So that's not true. But if we changed the way we played, they would have changed the way they played, and they would have had more chances. They would have scored at least two goals, I think. So,
Yeah, but
it's all very well in
so
hindsight
we as
saying.
well.
It's all very well saying in hindsight, oh, we could have took the game to them, but not. And I think I get it. I think overall, I think if we keep 11 men on the park, then I definitely think we take the game to them. But at the end of the day, like we just had to keep it tight, and with Sterling going off as well, and injury time, there was almost 10 minutes to go after that. Do you know what I mean? So. To still be in the tie. I mean, I look back and I was talking about my mates at the weekend. The previous run in 2000, even go back to 2008. Some of the ties we actually relied on. Staying in the tie at home, then going away. Look at
Well,
yeah,
fair enough. Yeah.
Sport in Lisbon, Fiorentina, etc. We just kind of hung on at some points in the game, than those games themselves, and then got a result away from home. So. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a great result. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying drawing at home is a great result. I'm not. But given the circumstances, it's a good result. And I think that I think that sometimes supporters have to be a lot bit more realistic when they say, "I got to attack." It's they would have destroyed us if we were playing with 10 men and we took the game and then for 90 minutes, they would have won 3 or 4-0. I have no doubt about that.
Let me throw this out to you. I think the nut each result actually suits us better than if Rangers went 1-0 earlier, went over there with a 1-0 lead, just because of the way the two teams will set up and the way it's went in the past. I actually think the nothing each just now suits us because we should have a better team on Thursday night, and hopefully we've got 11 men. This is a big thing because see if we've not got 11 men for 90 minutes, you can't expect miracles every week with 10 men. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
Fair
On you go,
enough.
Bliss.
No, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. It's hard to really say, but how the teams will set up on Thursday night will be tough to see if we go defensive or if we start start strong, if we take the game to them, though, it's tough to say. You actually never know until the game starts. You never know with Rangers, especially away from home in Europe. If they say a 0-0 suits is better than a 1-0, I don't know if I can't really argue against it, to be honest, because you don't know. You just don't know. You don't know, to be honest. What about you, Gordy?
No, I agree with you that one, Lewis. You just never know. Like, it's the way Rangers have been playing all season, even for the last two years. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to call it on Thursday night. I would say Bilbao are favourites, but there's every chance we can go 1-2-0. It sounds crazy to even say that, but
The other thing, guys, them being favourites actually suits us.
Yeah.
The pressure's off.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we've not. I don't really think we've much to lose when we go over there. We've not much to lose because we've did well to get to the point we are, beating a couple of quality teams as well in the way. So we've not much to lose. Of course, we all want to get to a European semi-final and eventually at a final and possibly even win it. But we all want to get there. And majority of us do believe we all have that sort of bit of hope. But at the same time, we've nothing to lose. We go over there and you've got to give your all and leave it all on the pitch, I think.
So what do we do? What do you reckon? Do we hang tight as we can and try and keep it not as long as we can and counter-attack?
No, counter-attack, I don't know. I think we should possibly be a bit more direct in it. I think go a bit more counter-attacking. I do think so. But I've seen Athletic Bilbao, they played, I think it was Rayo Vallecano there at the weekend on Sunday. They won 3-1, they went 1-0 down though at home, and it seemed like Vallecano actually had more chances than Bilbao. So I think if we take the game to them, I certainly think we'll get a lot of chances to score. So I don't think it's going to be a case of we get one shot and goal and we're going to score that one shot and win 1-0. I don't think it's going to be that case at all. So I think we're going to get quite a few chances over there.
The question is, guys, and it's a question we've been speaking about for weeks now, if we do get that one shot at goal, who should be the guy in the main centre forward position?
I think it's got to be Hamza Igamani.
It's got to be Igamani in my opinion, but I don't think it will be.
I think he will start with Dessers and bring on Igamani in the sort of 60th, 70th minute mark. And to be honest, I think on Thursday night there, I don't think Dessers should have started. I think, of course, he gave his all. He was sprinting after the ball, winning balls, but I think as your number 9, is a sort of reasonable size, but 6'1", 6'2", number 9, he's not physical enough. I don't think he wasn't strong enough, certainly on Thursday. I think he's proven that he can be physical, but he wasn't on Thursday night.
Gordy?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be argumentative tonight. I'm really not. But I just for me it's about stats. Like for me it's about stats, right? I'm a stats guy. Whatever, right? Eagleman scored 2 in 16 games, right? And he's not on form. So Dessers, as much as he's not on, Dessers will have chances. Like so the thing is, right? Dessers will have chances on Thursday night. He'll create chances himself. And he'll try for 90 minutes if he plays, right? Eagleman has got a great touch. He's got the potential to do that. But I just think that I think. See, the problem is you're both right. Yeah, Eagleman on form, Lewis should start. And I think Dessers misses a lot of chances. So if Eagleman was in good form, Lewis, I'd agree with you. It's just that. I don't think any of our strikers are particularly great. Like, I really don't. I think Eagleman's good. He's got a lot of potential. I think Dessers is okay, and I think Danilo is garbage, to be perfectly honest. But
but just to go back to the point I was making there, guys, I understand what Gordy said. I don't disagree with him whatsoever. That Eagleman isn't on form now. The point I'm making is, if Eagleman's playing, he's got to play centre forward because that's where he changed the game again at the second half against Aberdeen. And if he's not playing the centre forward role, because I think if you're going to play Dessers behind him, you can get away with that. But if you do it the other way about, it doesn't work, and it's not going to work. And I agree with you, Danilo isn't going to fill in there. So
I think we can all disagree that Danilo shouldn't start there on Thursday. But I don't think Bilbao are going to give us a lot of space, and I think if there's a player...
God, where you gone with that camera?
Sorry. No, don't worry.
We were worried.
I was just making my pitch to start on Thursday there.
Aye.
Sorry, Lewis, back to what you're saying, mate.
I think I forgot what I was saying, to be honest. No, I don't think Bilbao will give us a lot of space at all. Absolutely, they won't give us much space. And I think if you look at a couple of Eagleman's last few goals, a lot of them, as much as you said, he scored what, 2 in 16, 3 in 16, but possibly. But the goals that he scored for Rangers, he's not given much space in the ball, and he's managed to slot it in the bottom corner or the top corner in the case at Parkhead. But I don't think Bilbao gives a lot of space, and I think Iggyman's probably the player that's more suited to this game. I don't think he will start. I do think it will be Dessers. And Gordy, to be honest, I do disagree with you. I think we rely too much on stats. Of course, 2 goals in 16, 3 goals in 16, whatever it is.
What else can you go on?
Goals.
His performance, of course, goals.
that is stats, mate. What are you talking about? That is stats. What are you talking about? Going goals? That is stats.
No, of course. Look, and I'm not disagreeing with you the fact that 2 goals in 16 is not good enough for a Rangers striker, but he offers a lot more than just goals as well. But I do think if he plays, if it was up to me, I would start both Iggemani and Dessers. I think he suits me a 2 up front.
That's the point I'm making. I just think it's the way that they're playing. I think if Iggyman is wasted out in the wing, is the point I was trying to make.
100%. Of course he is. I think because.
By the way, it wouldn't surprise me. Just to jump in, it wouldn't surprise me if the man that made the night was Dessers. The much maligned Dessers. That finish at Old Trafford proves he's got it in him.
Old Trafford away to Real Betis as well, and he.
Yeah, that's what I'm going on. As much as I know you might not believe this. I actually rate Eagleman as a player more than I rate Dessers, right? So I know I'm sounding contradictory here,
like it.
but overall I do. As Simon says, if you said he plays in the right position, I just think on form he's not playing well. But next season I'd rather have Eagleman than Dessers. But given the fact that Dessers has proved it, Dessers has done it at Old Trafford. He's done it at Real Betis as well, as you said, Lewis, as well. Totally right. So Dessers has done it at these places, okay? Eagleman scored a great goal and we're 3-0 up to make it 4-0, so I get that as well. But as much, I don't like Dessers as a Rangers striker, right? I don't rate him. I think he's alright, but it's just all I can go on is stats and what's happened before, and that's what I'm going on with Dessers starting.
If there is going to be somebody that's going to make or break your game, it is going to be Dessers. He's either going to score the goal to win it, and he's going to miss about 5 chances. We're going to lose 1-0 and he's going to miss about 5 chances, or he's going to score the winning goal. He's the one player that's always going to make or break your game, to be honest. And
there's a really good comment came in here because I wanted to speak about it earlier on and I forgot completely, so thanks Alice for reminding me. We have to be organised in defence and disciplined in midfield. Bilbao are a counter-attacking team. Set pieces could be vital for us. Inaki Williams is a major injury doubt for them, come on the Rangers. Now, that boy Williams is one of their best players and apparently he's got a hamstring, for what I heard today. Interesting.
The thing is, right, I'm going to throw a stat, you're right, since every game...
I think stats tonight.
Right,
I thought it wasn't about stats.
I know I just said there, we rely too much on stats, but a stat about Iñaki Williams, I think I've seen something for the last 205, 206 games that he's played 205, 206 games consecutively in a row, so... To be out with a hamstring injury, I think that of course will benefit us. One of their best players, and Iñaki Williams is a great player. But
what is it about Rangers? What is it about Rangers and injuries? We're even injuring other players now.
We're a curse. We're an absolute curse, Gordy. That's what we are.
This guy hasn't missed a game in 5 years, and boom, 90 minutes at Ibrox, that's him out. That's him out now.
I definitely think we're entitled to a wee bit of luck in Europe. In
100%.
general, we've had a lot of bad luck, but at the same time, the big thing for me is we've got to have 11 men on the full game. We can't keep thinking it's the referees all the time. I know Marino's commented on it and stuff like that, but the bottom line is you've got to be disciplined.
Who was it that made that comment there, Si? Sorry.
I'll have to put it back up. Alex
Kelly.
Aye.
Yeah, Alex, I do agree with you. We've got to be very, very disciplined, and as you said there, Si, as well, we've got to start the game with 11 men. You can't be throwing in silly challenges, but of course you can't really back away for the ball as well, because you back away for the ball and they're going to come for you. So you've got to stick in a challenge, but you've got to be very, very clever, and that's why I don't think Proper's the right player for this game. And of course, we're quite lucky as well. I wouldn't say lucky that he's suspended. You never want a player out in suspension, but if there was going to be one you'd want out, it'd probably be Proper. He'd probably be one of the other players who would cost us the game as well, based on his defensive errors this season. So, I think we need very, very knowledgeable players who know what it's like to come up against players of a very high calibre, such as, your Iñaki Williams and Nico Williams that's coming up on Thursday night. That's why I think this game is perfectly suited for Leon Balogun as well, very, very knowledgeable, very experienced. So, yeah, we've got to be very disciplined, not even just in defence, but in the midfield, as you said, Alex, as well. So, yeah,
Another good
we
point
need to be
came in
very
here.
direct. I
And
think.
Aki Williams isn't the problem, it's his brother Nico.
Yeah.
You need to stick your boot in him and all then.
Aye, well, another very young player, and I spoke about him last week as well. Won the Euros with Spain, scored one of the goals in the final, I'm pretty sure he did as well, and absolutely shone up the show in that summer tournament. So he's a very, very quality player. I think, of course, his brother, Iñaki Williams, is a bit older as well. He came onto the scene, I think, 2016. Around, and I remember that. You wouldn't think I remember that. You'd think it was about 2 back then.
We need to be disciplined in the defence. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
oh yeah,
everybody's
100%.
agreed
I
on.
think we need to play very direct, to be honest.
Aye. Well, I think we need to be very tight in the defence. We can't. How many times have we seen silly mistakes this season? And that's something that, see, at this level in football, you can't afford silly mistakes, and you've got to be concentrating the full match.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Spot on, mate. I can't really
So Alex Kelly's just came in there. Suter and Diamondi both returned to the team for Thursday. Suter is a massive miss when he's not playing with Rangers. I think he's had a good season.
100%. He offers a lot in the defence, and I think he's had 2 very, very good performances. Of course, the last 2 games in Europe, apart from the Bilbao game there, obviously, but the 2 Fenerbahce games, I thought he was absolutely magnificent. He was our best player at home, and one of our best players away to them as well. It was absolutely immense, an absolute rock at the back, I think he was.
We've got a formation prediction here: 4-5-1 without the ball, 4-3-3 with it. Tav, Suter, Balogun and Yilmaz, Tierney, Raskin, Rice, or Barron, Diamondi, Hadji and Agaman. That's my setup, but I know it won't happen.
Personally, I don't think it will happen. What to say, whether I agree or disagree with you, it's hard to say. I think we will start with the usual, well, I say the usual, but a 5 at the back, or 3 at the back, however you want to say it. However, probably a 3 at the back and
What's the update on Rice? Does anybody know? Because I thought he got a really bad injury.
It looked to be very bad. I think it was a knock to his neck. I think it was possibly an elbow to his neck. I seen Barry Ferguson came out and said that he is all right. He's absolutely fine. I don't think he will play. I don't think he'll play against Bilbao, and if he does, it'll probably be for about 5-10 minutes maximum.
It certainly looked bad.
It looked a lot worse than what it actually was, and I think he's gotten off very lucky because an elbow to the neck, that can stop you breathing. So I think he's gotten off very lucky, and I thought it looked as if he was out cold as well, and he was down the ground for ages before he eventually got stretchered off. So I was worried. I feared the worst. Bailey Rice, because he was playing very well.
Was it Rice?
Yeah. Say that again, sorry?
I thought you were trying to jump in there, something about Rice.
Right.
No. Yeah, no, just I agree with Lewis. Like, I don't think I think he's. At first, I thought it was concussion, but it's not. So, but again, I don't see him starting on Thursday. I think. I don't know. I think if because Hadji scores that goal on Sunday last minute, which gives him confidence, I can see him starting now. But it'll be interesting because Balboa aren't a team that keep possession for 90 minutes, etc. Not like a Man City and that, so they want to play the counter attack as well. So
sorry, I can see possibly being on midfield 3 Raskin, Diamandi and Hadji. I do agree with you. I do think Hadji will start based on his last 2 performances. I think at home to Bilbao he was incredible as well. He was one of the players who I was talking about as well, who was tracking back from the sort of midfield attack area as well, trying back and giving it his all. Of course, putting his body right in the line, blocking balls as well. I think on the ball necessarily wasn't as good, but tracking back, it was unreal on Thursday night. I thought it was immense to us getting a point. That game, I think, no, not a point even. No, never mind a point. A 0-0 draw. I think it was immense to us not conceding.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, but anyways, back onto Thursday night incoming. We've got Suter and Diamandi back. Do you think we've missed Diamandi? Of course, we talked about Suter being a big miss. Do you think we've necessarily missed Diamandi, Gordy?
Not in domestic games. No, I don't. I think at this moment in time, Rangers' career, he's in these kind of physical games, in these games like away at Ross County, Dundee's, Aberdeen's, he's a little bit caught out in the wind. But I think in European games, he's been a lot better. So I think if he was missing on Thursday, we would miss him, but not. I think Diamandi's better suited for the European games at the moment, and maybe against Celtic. So I think he'll play.
I agree with you. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's all right. On you go.
No, anyways, I agree with you that he's better in the European games, but I don't rate him that highly, to be honest. I don't think his passing's great, his control of the ball's great. I think his dribbling's okay, but his actual ball control, when the ball's played into his feet, I think his first touch is quite poor, to be honest. I don't think we necessarily missed him as much. We certainly didn't miss him as much as we missed Suter, but I do. Whether he brings a lot to the game against Bilbao, whether he even plays, I think he will play. I don't think he'll start. No.
Right, guys, 10 minutes to go. Can we do it on Thursday night, and will we do it on Thursday night?
Can we? Yes, certainly. Of course we can do it. We've beaten better teams. We've also lost to worse teams right enough though, so you never know. If we'll do it, I don't know. But I think we'll get the place bouncing. The fans will certainly get right behind the team, and there's not really much more the fans can ask for except that they give their all and they leave everything on the pitch.
Gordy?
No, I completely agree with Lewis there. I think we can, and I think we will. So there you go. Short and sweet.
Yeah. Fair enough, short and sweet. Get right straight to the point.
There's going to be a lot of Rangers supporters in the ground as well. They'll probably be all over the stadium. There's like 5,000 travelling or something.
I've seen that, yeah. There's 5,000 travelling. Of course, I think a good friend of the show as well, Jordan McMurray. I think he'll get some good numbers as well for his fan zone that he set up there. Of course, we give him a couple of shout outs, but of course, any travelling fans that have gone over, remember to contact Jordan McMurray if you're wanting a wee chance to get into the fan zone. Loyalist music, Rangers music, a good wee sing song, a good bevy as well. So if you're travelling over, then make sure to give him a shout for tickets as well. I think there's still a few going.
And it's open at 6 a.m.
I think he'll get great numbers as well, especially the amount of fans that are travelling as well. I think he got a good name after the Manchester fan zone as well, which I thought went very well when we went down.
The big thing is the support have got something together there.
Oh,
you see when we went down to 10 men, I'll be honest, when Proper got sent off, I thought, that's it. We have totally balls this up at that level of football.
You fear the worst when you go a man down, especially early on in the game. Never mind early on in the game, the first half. You got a man down in the first half or even in the first hour of the game. You fear the absolute worst. You think Bilbao are going to see this as an absolute opportunity to just pounce on us, especially a defender. We're a defender down now, so you think Bilbao would see that as an opportunity to pounce. And don't get me wrong, I think they created a few chances as well. They had the big boy Sanadi up front who had a very good chance. So I believe it was I was just in the second half actually. It was just before he came off for Gers, but he had a very big chance, and I thought he scored as well. And I think the majority of the Bilbao fans also thought that he scored as well. So they had a good few chances.
A wee comment for Alex Kelly. 5,000 bears travelling. I heard it's raining over there. Bring your cagoules. The good news with that is, as we all know, the Europeans can't play in the rain.
Aye, well, fair enough, especially the Spaniards as well. Of course, that place very well known.
You know what they say? Rain
the
in
Rangers fans are taking
Spain.
the Scottish weather with them.
Rain in Spain falls mostly on the plane.
Well, who says that? You?
That's a well-known phrase, Simon.
Yeah, well,
I've never heard that, to be honest, Scott. I'm going to lie. I've never.
So we're a bit more confident after the game and after the Aberdeen game, the way it finished. Because at half time against Aberdeen, we were all thinking to ourselves, but every high we end up with a low. I'm still confident Rangers can get a result, but it would be a massive result if Rangers go through to the semi-final.
It's a very big ask of the team, to be honest. But one thing that I don't think is a big ask as well that I've mentioned before is that they give their all and leave everything in the park. That's not a big ask, but a big ask is to go out there and get a win, especially away to the competition favourites at the stadium which the final's actually been hosted in. So it's a big ask, but I do believe that they will do it. They've shown to turn up in big European games and games that we've not expected them to, especially away to Nice as well, which we won 4-1. Was it? I think it was 4-1.
It's been incredible how we're more confident, and this has been a long time now, we're more confident playing against really good teams in Europe away from home than we are playing against teams at Ibrox like Dundee.
I'm more confident against Athletic Bilbao than what I'm against like Hibs, Motherwell, Kilmarnock and all that. I'm more confident against Bilbao.
If I know, like we talked earlier about not wanting to look at the stats, but in these games, Rangers this season, we're a better team without the ball than with the ball.
Aye.
Yeah.
Which and that sounds horrible to say, but it's like if you look at all the passes, completion, the completion rates of passes, the running, the assists, the goals, everything. When we hammer the goal with 25, 30 shots a goal, we rarely score. When we go away from home and hardly the ball, we score 2 or 3. Look at Fenerbahce, look at, as you said, Nice, Malmo even. Malmo had most of the ball.
It suits us better.
So we unfortunately with the players we've got, we don't. Charlie likes a dribble now and again. Actually, kind of only put Egan man if he's on form, but we just seem to be a better team off the ball or out with the ball, and I think that suits us on Thursday.
Agree 100%.
Yeah. I think, of course, and I've stated it very a good few times as well on the channel as well. I think we play a lot better against teams that press us, teams that come for us, as you were just saying there. We play better against teams who have the majority of the ball when we've not got as much of the ball. When we're off the ball, we play a lot better. So,
however, at this level, when you get an opportunity to score, we cannot.
You've got to take it, and that's why I think I would slightly favour Igamani over Dessus as that. But so, as I said before as well, he's the player that's going to make or break your game. So it's a very tough call to make. I think Barry, he's got a tough decision to make.
A lot of interesting comments tonight, guys. I'm just wary of time. Just a couple of shout-outs I want to do before I forget, and then we can just continue for the last minute or so. A really good friend of the show, Ian Sinclair, he runs at Arthur Newman Loyal, and they're having their bus to the Blackpool True Blues weekend in June. There are seats available still, and it's seats, hotel, and your ticket for the event. If you're interested, contact Sinky on here or the Arthur Newman Loyal Rangers Supporters Club. Thanks for all your support, mate.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Hi Ian, hope you're well.
Aye, of course. I think every year we get a good few thousand Rangers fans that have gone down to Blackpool for the end of the season. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say party after this season unless we get to the Europa League final, but at the end of the season, sort of party if you wish to call it. We get a good few Rangers fans going down.
It's the weekend,
myself, but I would love to.
It's the weekend after the Europa League final.
Is it? Is that how it works out, is it? I didn't actually.
I think so, aye.
There you go.
Fair
There you
enough,
go. How's that for stats? You're on the stats tonight, Gordy.
God, he's got
That's
the
a good one. I
calendar
didn't know
already.
that.
No, it was just that amazing phrase for you. I don't even know if it was you, Style Lewis, that said it. He goes, we can't talk about the stats, but let's look at the goals. I'm like, what? I don't really know what stats you're talking about then. What stats I'm talking about?
Lastly, guys, before I forget, there's one big thing about this channel over the years, and it's something that we're immensely proud of, is the work we do in the community.
Yes.
And the charity work that you guys help us to make possible. And at the weekend, we managed to give the Glasgow City kids 530 Easter eggs. A donation of £135 was also made on the day, and my lodge, LOL 214 Loyal Sons of Ulster, have now given us a cheque of £100 to make that £235 donated. Well done to the Rangers supporters and all the clubs that backed us all over UK.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah, well done to every single one that was involved, from the High Number Scooter Club, from the Black Bill, from the Bristol Bar, Oswald's, everyone who was involved. An absolute massive pat on the back, absolute massive applause to you, to everyone who was involved. And even one Easter egg, it makes a massive difference to a kid's life. There's poor kids out there that are suffering. An Easter egg could make their day, could make their week, could make their month, to be honest with you.
And lastly, Alex Kelly, he's a good supporter of the channel. He's been on a few times. He's part of the Rangers radio team. And just to let you know that when we finish at 8, the guys come on, and it'd be good to give him a wee shout out and listen if you get a chance.
Perfect. Aye, exactly.
I'll just say before we go as well, just before I sign off as well, just to say, if you want to read some excellent articles about Rangers in the last couple of weeks, if you want to read about a new manager, etc., reviews about Butland and Dessers, etc., head on over to www.gerstv.co.uk. www.gerstv.co.uk.
You'll see some reports written by the fantastic David Held as well, Mr. Rangers, a lot of his column as well, very, very knowledgeable with Rangers as well, and some reports as well written by yours truly, Gordy. So,
and we're also looking for contributors if anybody else wants to get involved with stuff.
Yeah, of course, we're always looking for helpers here at Gers TV. We're always like, the more the merrier, we say here, the more the merrier.
So guys,
great
I think
stuff.
that's almost the end of the night. I'll let you finish
brilliant.
up.
Yep.
Excellent.
Well,
Thanks, Lewis. Thanks, Si. Back to my report.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gents. It's been a good chat tonight.
Good night,
covered
folks.
a lot. Good night, folks. And once again, do not forget, we are the people.